little peek at something that's going to be shown more next year, I'm sure. Look at that. Yeah. Yeah, we got a couple things going up there. This is Brooke's project. So I said I got enough to do with my raised beds, but she said we've got all this land and why not? And I've actually got some corn planted up there because I love corn and not a lot of room in my garden for it. And so I do have some corn up at the top. It's not doing great, but this soil is so much clay, which is another reason I have raised beds. So this is going to take some work to get it good, but I'm not sure if you can see that line of green right there. Those potatoes are loving it. So we hopefully will have lots of potatoes this year. Anyway, that's mostly next year's. Oh, and I also put some Jerusalem artichoke up in the corner. That's going to be fun. All right, so there's the house. Yeah, don't ask. Huh. All right, so this I just put in this year. Hannibal, can you see the water? Yeah, this is a difficult, and it's right in front of my porch. So this area right here is difficult. So you know what? I said, let me put in some raised beds here. Those are strawberries with red flowers. Now this is, I thought I'd seen a lot of things as far as fruits and vegetables, but I didn't know strawberries could have red flowers. Got those at the store. When I saw them, I said, okay, well, I got to have those to try them. Those are ever-bearing, and they are loving it here. Okay. Why? See, I don't know if this is some weird hybrid thing or what, but one white flower? See, those are the flowers I'm used to seeing with strawberries. But, so this is interesting. I don't know what's going on here. Those I'm so excited about in the back. And the whole reason for this archway. And I got two on this side. Those are the Triple Crown thornless blackberries. Look those up if you've never heard of them. I had blackberries in Taberg in New York. They were nice to have. I liked making my blackberry blueberry jam. But, you know, thorns, and they just took over everything. These are different. So there's called Triple Crown because there's three really fantastic things about them. One, they vine, which is why I have them here. Two, they don't have thorns. And the third thing is they're supposed to be huge. So, giving them a shot. I said, you know what? I'll give them an archway and we'll see. But apparently they go 10, 12 feet high, unlike, you know, wild ones, I guess, you know, usually maybe 4 to 6 feet high. So we will see if they like it here. They certainly look healthy enough. And over here I have the June bearing strawberries. No, they're not making it this year, but I just put them in and I didn't figure they'd make them this year. But next year we should have some berries in June. Those are strawberries. So these are the ever bearing. So I should have those all summer long. And look at the flowers. They love it in here. Oh, I thought I saw a berry. Yeah, there's a couple of little berries starting. Couple of little berries starting. Lots of flowers. That's a good sign. So we shall see. Alright, so yeah, that's my fallen down apple tree the chickens were sitting in, and now it's been cut off. And I haven't gotten rid of that part yet. It's a lot of work for an old lady. Anyway, just outside my porch door. Those are bunching onions all the way across, and of course we've got some rosemary, bunching onions, a couple of regular onions thrown in there because I didn't have room in the bed, nasturtium. And this, of course, is keep those darn rabbits out because they're still wandering around in my yard. More nasturtiums. And zucchini. 3 zucchinis. I've got a couple more over along the fence there, but I haven't paid a lot of attention to that bed. I have onions in here on each side of the zucchinis, so I'm gonna have to like trim the big leaves that move over in that direction. I'll just let them go this way. I don't know if you can see this bird netting. I have chipmunks that have been trying to eat everything. That is marigold. Had one there, which is down to a nub because of the darn snails. I haven't put the copper tape on this bed yet. Once I do, I won't have any snail issues anymore, but just haven't gotten to it yet. It's just busy trying to get everything in because I just put this bed in this year too. But you see the onions I've got on each side of zucchinis. I don't know if it's a great idea, but I ran out of room in my onion bed, and so I said, let me put them somewhere. We'll see if they work alongside the zucchini. If they do, then I'll have extra onions. More marigold. And of course I had a tote sitting here, and I had an extra zucchini, so in it went. So actually 4 zucchinis right here. And that is another experiment eggplant. I don't care for eggplant. Brooke and Josh like eggplant. So I said, well, I'll try to grow one, but I've heard they're real finicky, and yes, it is not. It's been unhealthy up until now. It's starting to get greener and it's looking better, but it definitely does not like the cold. Look, definitely does not like the cold. Look at that. You know who did that? Darn chipmunks. Because it's on the outside of the netting. Just pluck my stuff. You know, that was an onion. I had 3 onions in there. They plucked 1 just because. Darn chipmunks. And they live in this tree. Darn chipmunks. Anyway, got a couple of lilac seedlings, or plants, what do you want to call them, and stuck them here. Yeah, I know it's in all the weeds, but it's liking it. So I love lilac trees, so that's coming. And this is a weird spot because there's a spring right here. That's what feeds my house. The spring is over, the receptacle for the spring is over there, but part of it comes over here, and so there's like pipes and things, and so we can't mow right here, so it's always going to look like this right here. So I planted 1 lilac there and 1 right here somewhere. See if I can find it. Ah, there it is. Let's give it some sunlight. It's okay, honey. Don't worry, it's just my hand. Yeah, there it is. So I thought this would be a nice place for 2 lilacs since we can't do anything right here anyway. My wonderful 2 blueberry bushes that I can see there's not as much berries on them as there was last year. Last year this thing was absolutely loaded. And it's loaded again, but for the live branches. I guess, you know I have to prune it, but I haven't gone to look on how to prune blueberries yet, so I didn't touch it last year. So that's probably why there's not as many. There's plenty. But, and I did have way too many last year. I couldn't keep up with it. I kept pulling blueberries from that bush, pulling blueberries. Only got a few off of this one because it was just more than I could handle. Which is kind of a crazy thing to say for just 2 blueberry bushes, but it really was. And the birds didn't bother them that much either, which was kind of odd. I was waiting to have to net it and never did. Never had to. So thank you, previous owners. Oh, look at that. Wonder what's living down in there. Yeah, critters. So yeah, that's some kind of part of the spring. There's some pipes, whatever. I don't even really know, which is interesting. But the people who sold the property, the old man who lived here with his wife for 50 years, he died. and it was a nephew or something, and he didn't know anything about the property, so he knows nothing. So I bought it as is, knowing nothing. But this is trench that was for the runoff, to try to help the water run off from that area. But now it's grown up and it's not trenching very well. Actually, I'll go this way. Yeah, that's what's left of my mulch. I have him dump a truckload, just like last year in the spring, and that's what I fill my new beds with. It's almost done. Josh built me a bridge for over this trench area. Yeah, look at it. It was not this full last year, but see, that's the soil. It's very, very clay, very much clay. And so it's supposed to, this trench all the way down the property to a gully and a culvert, but it's just grown in, so it's not doing very well. I have to get some kind of machine, because you picture me out here with a shovel trying to do this. That's not going to happen. Not because I wouldn't want to, but it's just not possible. But Josh built me that bridge. Proud of him. Okay, so Brooke planted some flowers that are coming up. There's two nasturtiums in there, and I don't know what these are. We're thinking they're zinnias. She forgot after she planted the seeds, but that's okay. So my garden has expanded, not in size, but in beds, because I still have plenty of room for more beds. Yeah, I'll get back to that. Okay, so let's go to this one next to it. My dill. This was not the dill bed. This was the perpetual spinach bed. Because I can't grow regular spinach, so I do perpetual spinach, and it tastes the same, and I love it, and it grows really well. Not growing so well right now because I had a dill plant in here at the end last year, and I let it go to seed on purpose, and I forgot I let it to go to seed, and so this is my dill bed. And so the dill, I just pulled out 2/3 of what was in there. I pulled out 2/3. It's in my kitchen. It just didn't it wasn't letting the spinach grow up. Now that I've thinned it out, it'll let some spinach grow, and then I'll have my spinach again. But this dill grows so fast. It's the mammoth dill. Let's pull off that flower so it doesn't go to seed. And my beets, I love beets. I love these beets. There is nothing like a fresh beet. Don't give me a canned beet. I don't like canned beets. They're not the same. I don't like pickled beets. But fresh beets, chop up the greens, chop up the beet, cook them together, eat them together. It is, with some butter, it is just, I have no words. So anyway, it's supposed to be all the way, but they didn't grow. I guess I didn't leave it. The seeds didn't sprout because I didn't leave. It got dry in that spot. So I just need to keep it moist again, and then those will pop up. But I've got plenty of others. They're not quite ready, but they're getting there pretty soon. And yes, a dill seed blew. Peas, I love my snap peas. Those I put out here when we were still having some cold snaps, and so like half of them died, but I still got quite a few here. Sugar snap peas. I love sugar snap peas because you can just pull them off and eat them. Love them. And more sugar snap peas. There's plenty over here. These all survived. I'm actually on the wrong side here. Lots of them. Oh. And on this trellis, the reason for this trellis is green beans coming up both sides. Last year I had them in that one spot, and they were growing over, and I was trying to get them to go over onto the outside fence because they just kept growing and kept growing. They loved it there, so I said, you know what, let me give them a trellis instead. And sorry, I'm still eating the sugar snap pea. But look at it. Those are my green beans. Now I got one here that's trying to grow, but it started getting eaten too. But it's still trying to grow. This one's doing good. This one's doing real good. See, it's coming up. So we got one here. I can plant another. They grow quickly. And now that I've seen what's doing that, I can solve the problem real quick. So, I don't know if you saw my video last year on the copper tape. It's got to be the 2-inch. If you've got the 1-inch, it's not going to work. The snails go right over the 1-inch. They will not go all the way across the 2-inch. They don't like it. Go find my video on that. But you can see it's very, 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 very thin, very paper thin, like thinner than paper. And so, sorry, I've got dirt in my nails from digging. So I just have to wrap it again, and then no more snails. That will solve the problem. That's the one thing that I've found up in Taberg. I dealt with that all the time. Couldn't find a solution. This was the solution, and it does work. I just have to do it again. So, but you see they got on here and the edges on some of these beets. But I found them and I plucked them out. Ooh, there's a nice beet. Might be having that in a couple days. But look at all, I don't know if you can see all the peas, lots of peas. Almost ready. Most of them don't make it into the house because I eat them while I'm out here and working in the garden. Okay. New this year. I'm so excited. Yodfah, Y-O-D, second word, F-A-H. And this one's ready to eat. It's going to be my substitute for broccoli. I can't grow broccoli. I have too much difficulty with it. I shouldn't say I can't. I can. It's just very difficult. It's a pain in the butt. Sometimes it comes out. Sometimes it doesn't. So and it's just a lot of work. This supposedly tastes like kind of like a cross between broccoli and maybe asparagus. And with these, you're not looking for a big flower head that you're going to eat. You eat the stem, and along with that, and after it flowers, it gets little yellow flowers. You can eat the flowers, even so you're not worried if this goes to yellow flowers tomorrow. It's still edible, and it still supposedly tastes great. So I've got a few that are almost ready, and then I'm gonna try those, and hopefully those will taste great because they have loved it here. I had no issues growing it, and I'll end up with a whole bed full if that's the case, if they're that good. But they supposedly, when you chop it off, they keep growing more all summer long. So we'll see. That would be fantastic. These are my rutabaga. I love rutabaga. So there's more Yodfah. The Yodfah stops here. They kind of look very similar. That's all rutabaga. And I think I counted 10. So not as many as I'd like. I like a lot of rutabaga too, but enough. My lettuce, yeah, it's got a little hot. They're starting, let me go around. See that? That's snail buggers. I have to take care of them. And yes, another random dill. The wind blows it. Oh, you see this? This is random. It made it through the winter. I don't know if you can see it. There's 3 sprigs off of an onion piece that made it from last year. Look at that. This is onion. It made it through the winter. I come out here and this thing was growing in the bed. I said, you know what? I'm going to leave it because you look like you are a survivor. So I don't know if that's going to actually make a bulb that I can eat, but I suppose, yeah, look at that. It's 3 together. I don't know how that happened. But anyway, yeah, my lettuce is starting to already, it's already bolted. But I just plucked off 2 big, nice big sort of heads. They're not really heads. They're kind of like a romaine type. But it got into like almost like a head. See, there's one. There's one. I'm going to have to come out and pull that pretty quick because it's just getting so hot so quick. This is it was a row. I just plucked 2 like that. Green ice lettuce. Anybody who deals with heat, I'm highly recommending green ice lettuce. I don't know. If you deal with lettuce in the heat and you have difficulty, you know that once it starts to bolt like that, you can see it's bolted. It gets too high and it's gonna want to start to form the flower and the seeds. It gets bitter. This stuff does not get bitter, and I don't know why, but it's still good. I had one growing a tall stalk last year over in that bed, and we kept plucking off of it and eating it, and it was never bitter, never tough. So try out that green ice lettuce. Now in there was little gems, which are supposed to be little romaines that tall, and nice big thick romaine little head all over, but they just never got to that point. They went from some leaves to bolting. So I don't know if you can see it. I haven't tasted them yet. Well, I guess I could do that now, can't I? Yeah, see, slightly better. There's one that made a little head. But it's too tall because it bolted. It's supposed to be to the ground like this tall, and that's it. Yeah, more to. But there's, yeah, lots of peas. And that, none of that died, so it's a nice thick bunch. And I've got a long ways to go with that. That'll be out for a little while. And here I have my sweet potatoes. Yeah, again. That's my sweet potatoes. I am going to eventually get a big, taller bed like I had back in New York. I had the big, like it was like a big barrel kind of thing, but it was the 3 window wells that I put together, and that loved sweet potatoes. The sweet potatoes loved that because it was nice and deep. It was probably about that deep, and it was big around, and I got huge sweet potatoes out of that. But just for now, because I'm not there yet, I guess since I'm here, I'll show you this. So, big disappointment. Not anybody's fault but mine. This is a pear tree that had 5 different kinds of pears grafted onto it. Or 5? 4 or 5? No, it's 5. Red Bartlett, Camas, Summer Crisp pear, Bosque pear, Bartlett pear. Okay, so 2, no, yeah, there you go. And I had it planted up there on the hill, because I didn't want it down where it might get wet, because some of these spots are wet, some are dry, and sometimes it moves around because the springs under here move around. Got a lot of springs in this property and they move around. So I put it up there. It's just last year it had leaves all over it. It was great. This year, not one bud. And so I pulled it up. And interestingly, the rootstock likes it. So keep in mind, they have, I don't know what kind of a tree that rootstock that they used for this was. It could be a pear. It could be something entirely different. It almost looks like pear leaves, but it's hard to say. But I'm really disappointed because last year each of the branches had plenty of leaves, and it looked like it was going to be fantastic, and I might have had pears this year. This year, nothing. So I took it out of the ground and I put it in the bucket so I could try and baby it to see if it's going to come back, but it might be too late since there's absolutely nothing here. I don't know. Very disappointed in that. Okay, so where were we? We did these with the arch. We did the sweet potatoes. And these are just Georgia Jet. I've tried Beauregard. They're okay, but I don't like them as much as the flavor of the Georgia Jet. Last year I had done some of those Japanese purple ones. They're white fleshed. They were very sweet, but to me, they had no sweet potato flavor. They had a sweet flavor, but not a sweet potato flavor. It was almost like a sweet regular potato. It was just not my thing. The Georgia Jets are, to me, the best flavor. So they're the orange flesh, orange skin. And so that's what's in here. And my new, sorry if I'm turning the camera, onion bed. This is new. Just put this in. Got lots of onions. I need 3 times this much. But yeah, those are going now. And now, so I don't lose. These are 2 new ones this year too. So like I said, I put a lot in this year. Last year I had those 2 were my tomatoes. Not enough tomatoes, nowhere near. So 2 more for the tomatoes. And I put the shade cloth because here it gets very hot in the summer. The very first year that I came here and had my summer and grew tomatoes, they worked, they grew, they were good, but the leaves were constantly curled during the day. So I said, you know what, let me put the shade cloth on. And last year my tomatoes loved it way better. So I'm just keeping a constant shade cloth across the whole thing. And they're so much happier. So like I did last year over here, same thing here. Tomatoes in the back, going up the arch, the trellis, and peppers in the front. So now I'm going to have double the peppers too, because we eat a lot of peppers. And so this will be nice. Only 3 and 3 beefsteaks. The rest of them are all Amish paste. I still haven't found a better paste tomato or aroma tomato for tomato sauce, for cooking, for slicing, for anything. The Amish paste. They get huge. I mean huge. Other aromas are, like this size. Those get this big around, that long. I mean, seriously. I'll show you some of my tomatoes when they come out. They are the biggest, the best tasting. They have such good flavor. Yeah, I threw extra onions in here. They'll probably get crowded out by these pepper plants. But, so I've got, I think there's 3, yeah. We've got 3 wonder peppers. So, the bell peppers. 3 bell peppers. I like bell peppers. I started out mostly eating bell peppers and then found that I like a lot of other peppers. This is new this year for me. I'm so excited. So the red Corno di Toro is a sweet red pepper. And I tend to like the sweet red peppers that are good for cooking and eating fresh. So that's a new one, red Corno di Toro. And I've got 3 of those. You'll notice they're a little bit yellowed. They were when I first put them in. And I'm sure you're noticing the level of the dirt in here is like minimal. There's hardly any dirt in here. I get the truckload, but it's barely enough to spread around. I give this extra, food during the growing year just because there's not enough soil in there to feed it. But hopefully next year I'll have most of my beds in and I'll be able to start filling it more. But yeah, that's the first year it's always that low. The next year I added a couple more inches and then they start getting mulch. But yeah, so they weren't happy at first, and we had that cold too, which was part of the problem. It wouldn't have gotten like this if it wasn't for the cold we were having. But look at this. I've already got a huge pepper on there. Look at the size of that thing. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, I can't wait to taste these. That's the red Corno di Toro. I'm probably saying it wrong, but yeah, onions. And of course those, like I said, are all Amish paste. Just the 3 on the end on each side are the beefsteaks, because Brooke wanted some beefsteak. I personally don't need to grow them because I'll eat the Amish paste tomatoes sliced. My second excitement for new peppers, giant Marconi. That's the beautiful deep red sweet Italian pepper, and it's growing some, no problem, loves it. And I've got that all the way across here, so 4 of those. And you can see that where they didn't like it and they weren't happy, but now nice and green because I gave it some food and I babied it a little bit. And so now they're fine. They'll be fine now. These are another giant Marconis. Actually, I have 5 of those. This wuss can't handle her heat, so I got the Nadapinos. I love jalapeno flavor, but I can't handle much heat. So I get the Nadapinos. I want to make some cowboy candy with that, but so I can have that jalapeno flavor without the heat, and a little bit of regular to have a little heat in there. I just can't handle a lot. This, as you could see, you could tell by the label, it's not a seed that I grew. All those I grew the seed when I've written it like that. When it's got this label, I bought it from the store because I had forgotten. I like sweet banana peppers, and I just happened to see the plant, and so I said, oh, let me grab that one. And a snail got on it. I saw the snail on here yesterday and plucked it off, and it just tore it up. But new leaves, it'll survive. Just a little setback. Oh yeah, and they're brandy wine. I don't know if I mentioned that. The beefsteaks are brandy wine. And so now to the next one. Yeah, see? Very, very unhappy. This makes no sense, and I'm still trying to figure it out because this is my original bed. So these beds have been here for 2 summers. This is their 3rd summer. I don't know why. And look at the one right next to it. These went in at the same time. It's fine over here. Something's going on in this soil. And I have a feeling it's a little critter because when I came in here a couple days ago, all this seemed like it was churned up. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. Oh, I gotta get another. Clip. So yeah, my tomatoes got the flowers already. They're ready to start popping out. So yeah, interestingly, I have these turned around for a silly reason. The sun shines right here, and then it bleaches this, and then I can't see what's in there. So over in this area, they're all turned around. Pots of gold. I'm excited for these because I love those little teeny snacking peppers that you can get in the store. You know, they're red, orange, and yellow, and they're really sweet. Just little snacking peppers. So these are like a orange pots of gold. They're like a gold color, and they're supposed to be like that. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. 4 of them, because I will keep munching those, and they are not happy. I'll munch those all summer long if I can get them to. But see, this one's coming too. Wasn't happy, but now. So we'll see. But you can see a snail was eating that one too. Yeah, more dill. Oh yeah, not happy. Not a lot of munching though, so I don't know. Well, the top got nipped, so yeah, not happy. This is another one I saw in the store, and I said, okay, let me just grab that. Little Mimi Red. I don't know what Mimi Red is, but looked good, so I said, well, I'll just grab it. It looks like such a healthy plant, but it's also so short. It's just short. It's not growing tall. I don't know what's going to happen with that. We'll see. And there's another pots of gold. Let's see the nice dark green leaves coming out. So this one's on the mend, and it's happy. Yeah, still all Amish paste. All Amish paste. Now this is Josh's peppers. I always put in 1 bed full for Josh because he likes the hot peppers. I can't handle the heat. He loves the heat. So we've got some for him. Datil. I don't know if that's pronounced right. Datil. That's a very hot little pepper, little orange wrinkly thing, little orange wrinkly pepper. But only one of those because I grew them last year and he thought they were okay, but they weren't thrilling him. Yes, I found another snail in here. I plucked it out. I got to get this one I never got the copper on, so I have to do that. But I didn't have any issues last year for some reason. I got him the poblano ancho hot pepper. He likes those poblano peppers, and he loves, his favorite one is the serrano, so I got him 3 of those. So he's got 3 of those. Yeah, you can see the snail damage here and there. Yeah, snail damage. There was a big old one on there last night I got. So, but they're looking good. They'll be fine. All right, so at the end here, well, that's where we started over there, and went that way and came this way. More trees. So my trees are not happy with this hill. I got to figure out what the problem is. They weren't wet. This one was. This one was right here on this side of the blueberry bushes. And I went up there and looked, and it was an actual puddle. They were just sitting in a puddle. Still had leaves, but I said, okay, I got to get that out of there. Don't know where I'm going to put these things. This is my, the cherry bush. Cherry dwarf Romeo. Got a lot of leaves last year. Was happy all last year. I got to figure out where I'm going to put it. It's coming back now that I put it in the pot. But you can see where it was getting yellow leaves and they were starting to fall off. So I pulled it out and rescued it and put it in a pot and said, let me get it back to health and then figure out where I'm going to put this thing. Same here. When I got that other tree we looked at first, the pear tree, I got this peach tree. It's only one kind of peach, nothing fancy. But it's the Inshale Haven peach. And nothing, just no leaves. Last year had a couple leaves. It wasn't happy last year. I don't know if it's still alive. I don't know if it can be rescued. I don't know. So I'm going to see if I can get it to come back to life. Any suggestions? Let me know. Or any way to tell? I think if you break a branch and it's not bone dry, that it might still be alive, but I haven't tested that. Just threw some flowers in the front. Again, another tree that was doing great 2 summers ago when I put it in. I put this in my first summer. Last summer it was struggling, but it wasn't this bad. I went out there now and there was nothing except for these are coming out of the bottom. So I don't understand what that means. If they're happy down here, is it the rootstock, which maybe isn't the same as the plant that's on top? Because it looks like it could have been grafted, or is this, I don't know, I just can't figure it out. This was definitely in water. When I pulled it up, it sucked out of the hole. So I know almonds like water, but not soaking wet water. So this is the Hall's Hardy almond. And so I'm hoping these are almond leaves and that this is the same thing down here, but I don't know. It almost looks grafted here, but I can't really tell. I mean, it kind of does, but it maybe not. Hopefully this is almond. Otherwise, I got something else growing and the almond's done for. But yeah, the almond's definitely dry. It did not like where it was planted. Again, trees and me, I need help. So yeah, I put that there on purpose. Squash. I like squash. I like the delicata squash. I've got 2 delicatas in here. And they were struggling because I put them out too early and they got hit by that cold snap. But they're coming back. So yeah, see. Cold hit it. That's new growth. This is where the cold snap hit it, but then it survived, and then the new growth on the end, and then this new growth. So thank goodness it survived that cold snap. It really wasn't unexpected what we had, because I don't know what that is. Looks like it started to grow a fruit and then dropped it. But anyway, they look good now. Oh yeah, it's gonna have a flower. So this is the delicata squash. And I do love that. That's my favorite squash. Honestly, I don't know if that's delicata. I don't know what that is. It almost looks like a watermelon or something else. I don't think that's delicata, but I had a couple other things in here, like I had a sweet dumpling and it died in that cold snap. And I also had a Minnesota midget cantaloupe that died in the cold snap. I don't know what that is because I had this one here. And so I don't know. We'll see. It's got the white striation in the leaves. That's why I don't think it's one of those. We'll see. Yeah, the It needed some cover because I put it out and I didn't have time to get it used to the sun, and it was very strong sun the day I put this out. So that's just shade cloth to keep the sun from from burning the leaves, you know. These are watermelons. So we've got a Nancy watermelon, which is a big, regular size, big watermelon. And we've got an early moonbeam watermelon, which is the small, more personal size ones. That's this one. They're doing good. I could take this off now. I just haven't bothered because it doesn't hurt anything. They don't mind it. Let's see what we've got over here. This one is, I'm really excited for this, and it wasn't doing well, which surprised me, but it came back. Farthest North Gala Melon. My understanding is this is called Farthest North because this is the melon you grow farthest north. And so I was very excited about that. And what I heard, it tasted really good, really sweet, kind of like an alternate to your green melons or your cantaloupes. So, or like honeydew, but an alternate to that. So that's why I was excited for this one. See, it almost died. It got yellow, but then it came back again. And now these, what I'm doing with these is going to let them trail across because they, you know, if you know watermelons and squash, they just take over like tons. So I'm going to let it do that and then up the fence, and that's why I've got that fence there with the clips. So I can just let it grow on there and back down on here. Because if it sits on here, the first year, last year, I had my squashes coming down on here. I thought, oh, it'll be on here. But it turns out that this is staying very wet. And I haven't got my gravel in yet. So I said, let me give it something to sit on. Because otherwise it just rots your melons. And my potatoes all the way across the back. Love my potatoes. I need 300 pounds of potatoes. This is not going to be 300 pounds of potatoes, but I'm hoping 200. We'll see. They got 6 beds. And I've got 3 different kinds. I've got Kennebec, Yukon Gold in that one and a half of this one. Kennebec and half of this one and that one. And so I've got 2 gold potatoes. And then I've got 2 red potatoes. So in this one I have the red Pontiac. And then in half of that one, red Pontiac, and then half of that one is what's the other red? Red Norland, Norland, in that half and in that full one. And the potatoes are loving it this year. Starting to get ready to get the flowers. Very quickly this year, quicker than ever. Yeah, again, now okay, so I guess we're to that because I'm done with everything else. All right. Me and carrots. Carrots hate me. So I did grow some carrots last year. Not very many. I tried a whole new experiment. Didn't work. I don't know if you saw that video, but I got a few. And the ones I got, I'm telling you, when I can grow a carrot, I can grow a carrot. This big around, like halfway up my arm long, I can grow carrots. When I can get them to sprout. I have such a hard time getting them to sprout. So I had the cardboard on it. Okay, I've heard people do boards. I tried the boards. That didn't work for me. I don't know why. It just didn't work. I tried not last year. I didn't do it last year. I did the year before. I did the cardboard. And I have to lay it on the soil because otherwise the soil dries out and they won't sprout. But they also have to be 70 degrees or warmer or they won't sprout. So that's why they're not started yet. And that's not a big deal. Now is when they would start. But now I said, you know what? Let me try the windows. That'll keep the moisture in and keep it warm because it's been a little bit on the cool side, 60 something days. So I said, let me put the windows on. Well, as you can see, they still dried out. So I don't know. So this is 2 beds of carrots because I eat a lot of carrots. I need a lot of carrots. So for me to have such difficulty with these carrots is driving me absolutely batshit. So 2 different kinds of carrots, but there's carrots. So these are the 2 carrot beds, not yet sprouted. And yeah, we're going to go over to that other one. I'm so frustrated with it. You don't understand how frustrated with that. Carrots is like the second most eaten vegetable in my house. And this one, of course, carrot family. This is the parsnips, which I do like, not as much, so I'm not going to plant as much, but I like parsnips. Same thing with the carrots. They have to be 70 degrees to grow. They have to be constantly wet. I don't know if the windows maybe making it too hot. I put my hand under there and I didn't feel it too hot. This one seems to be being kept moist better than those, and I don't know why that would be, because it's the same darn windows, same darn bed. But they're not sprouting yet, and I don't know if they will. I'm gonna keep working at it, but if anybody has any ideas other than the boards, because I tried the boards, didn't work for me. The cardboard seemed to work, so I might, if this isn't working pretty quick, I might pull it off and put the cardboard back on. But I was finding a lot of bugs underneath the cardboard. That's why I said, let me go to windows, because I don't need all those bugs crawling under there. They'll eat my little sprouts. So I don't know. Help me out with the carrots, people. That's it. So that's my vegetable garden. And I absolutely love my garden, and I'm so happy with the progress in 2 years, 2 years worth of full work on this thing. Yeah. Talk to you soon.